God almighty. I wonder if I should get solar power.
I am Ra, Egyptian god of the sun.
Have you come to help me get solar power?
No! I will sue you if you try to capture any of the sun's rays.
I'm Apollo, Roman god of the sun. Ignore him. He invested in coal in the 1970s. I'm here to answer a question the people have been asking the gods since the mid-2000s. Shall I get solar power?
Great.
For starters, solar power means less carbon emissions than power from the grid. And that's even if you take into consideration the emissions in making the panels.
Sure, I care about the environment. Will it save me?
Oh, the money thing. I know just the god.
Is solar worth the cost?
I'm Anya, the Irish god of Wales.
But I thought you were Roman.
Us gods all hang out.
The average size of a residential solar system is around 4 kilowatts. In 2016, it cost between 4,700 and 7,800. But prices for solar panels are dropping every year.
So how soon will my solar system pay for itself?
The payback period. It all depends on how much sun your roof gets, how much electricity you use in the day, the cost of electricity, and how much you get paid for feeding your power back into the grid. For a 4 kilowatt system, it's about 5 years on average, but it varies from city to city. In Adelaide, it's less than 3 years. In Hobart, it can be as much as 10 years.
So how do I reduce the payback time if I don't want to move to Adelaide?
Well, someone else can explain that. I've got backpackers to get drunk.
Making the most of solar power.
Solar panels produce power during the day, but houses generally use most power during the night. So if you're at home during the day because you're retired, or you work from home, or you're the kind of loser that watches daytime television,
Hey!
you'll benefit hugely from solar power because you'll use it yourself rather than buying power off the grid.
But what if I'm at work and don't use much power during the day?
Then your power is fed back into the grid and you're paid a feed-in tariff.
Electricity companies don't usually pay you as much to take your electricity as they charge you to use theirs.
Ah, what a surprise.
The good news is that the feed-in tariff increased in 2017, with most sitting around the 10 to 14 cents per kilowatt hour mark. And the Northern Territory is leading the way with 26 cents.
Thanks, Dad. You've been enlightening.
Good one, son.
Dad?
Yeah, being a god's like a small family business.
Can I figure out how long the payback should be without the use of randomly appearing gods?
Yes, but for that you need the most powerful god of all.
Me?
No, the internet. There are lots of solar calculators online of differing levels of complexity. I found the easiest one to use is at solarcalculator.com.au. It's an independent site funded by quote referrals, but you can use their online calculator without getting a quote through them. You'll need to know information like your power usage and which way your roof faces.
Mine faces the sky.
They'll also give you an idea of what size solar system is going to be most economical for you.
Okay, but how do I know how many panels I can even fit on my roof?
To work that out, solar companies communicate with those that watch over us at all times.
The gods.
No, satellites. They look your house up online and give you a quote based on satellite images. But if they're not willing to come out and visit your house before you pay them any money, then there could be difficulties in the long run.
Okay, but how do I find trustworthy solar companies?
Finding the right solar company.
Oh, I am Fides, the goddess of trust.
And how did you get in here?
I picked the lock. If you go with one of the big solar companies, you might find yourself dealing with various salespeople, designers and installers. With the smaller companies, one person may do every role.
I know the feeling. I'm the god of the sun, music, healing and archery.
Smaller isn't necessarily worse. Having a single point of contact can be great, so it means you don't get a salesperson telling you something different from the technical people. Either way, check solaraccreditation.com.au to make sure your installer is certified by the Clean Energy Council. That's important because government subsidies only apply if your panels are certified and installed by a CEC accredited installer.
So how much can the subsidy save me?
On a 5 kilowatt system, about $3,400 in most cities.
Wow.
As well as certifying installers, the Clean Energy Council has a higher category called Approved Solar Retailer. Approved retailers follow a best practice code of conduct, but there are only 59 of them in Australia. So at the moment, if you don't live in a capital city, it may be hard to get 3 quotes only from approved solar retailers.
Yep, there are none servicing heaven.
You can also get quotes for comparison from Solar Quotes. They get paid for referrals, but only businesses that are certified and pass credit checks should appear on their site.
But what if a solar seller just...
Oh no.
What about door-to-door solar?
Are you interested in buying solar panels?
Oh, yes, I am actually.
Not from a door-to-door seller, you aren't.
I'm sorry.
The Consumer Action Law Centre says solar door-to-door sales cause significant consumer harm. There are misleading and inappropriate sales, expensive markups, and they often prey on low-income consumers, like the 72-year-old pensioner with no income or savings who was signed up for an $8,500 system through a finance deal. Plus, it's hard to do proper checks on price and quality when you've got a pushy salesperson in your house.
Yes, it is hard when you've got someone in your house.
If you do get talked into buying solar by a door-to-door seller, there's still a 10-day cooling-off period to cancel it. Okay?
Okay.
No one lives here, ever!
Intense.
Here, I got you 3 quotes from reputable installers.
But how do I know if the panels themselves are good quality?
Better leave that answer to Dumavati, the crone goddess of disappointment.
I'm not feeling good about this answer.
How do I compare solar panels?
Welcome to the Taj Mahal, the casino once owned by Donald Trump.
Oh, that is disappointing.
Joyce said solar panels are one of the most complex products they've tested.
And they tested tissues.
They tested them for a full year, but most of the panels tested in 2015 were already discontinued by early 2017.
That is also disappointing.
But many were replaced by more efficient panels, so you may still be able to use their results to find similar high-performing panels from the same brand.
But surely it doesn't matter. All these quotes have a 25-year warranty.
You might get that impression, but
when you buy a solar system, you actually get 4 warranties, covering different things, lasting different periods. The installation warranty covers any faults that occur during installation. It can last anything from 1 to about 10 years. You also get a warranty on your inverter.
the thing that turns your solar panels DC power into AC power for your house?
DC! Sorry.
The inverter is the component most likely to fail. The manufacturer's warranty on inverters is generally 5 years, but some brands do offer up to 10 years. The actual solar panels generally come with 2 types of warranty. There's a performance warranty, because solar panels get less effective over time. The performance warranty generally guarantees that after 25 years, the solar panels will still produce 80% of the amount of power it generates on installation. And then there's the product warranty, which covers the panels if they stop working altogether. The product warranty generally lasts between 5 to 12 years.
Hang on. If a performance warranty promises that a panel will work at 80% for 25 years, but they only guarantee the whole unit for 5 to 12 years, how does that work?
I'm a god, not a lawyer. I don't bloody know.
What god are you?
I'm not a god. I'm consumer law man.
Oh, now I'm disappointed.
Solar panels must be of acceptable quality and reasonably durable.
But how long is that?
I don't know. I'm not a god. Although, if I was told a product would last 25 years, even at reduced capacity, it seems reasonable to me to expect that it won't break before then. So remember, the consumer guarantees trump the complicated contractual warranties on solar products. And that's Trump in the good sense.
Thanks, consumer law man.
Finally, check if the panel manufacturer has an office in Australia, and also how well established they are, because there's no point having a long warranty if the company who had offered it is out of business.
That wasn't as disappointing as I expected.
Yeah, but you're disappointed by that, aren't you?
Ah, well played, Crone Goddess.
Look, if you find all of this a bit complicated, you can get a consultation with the Alternative Technology Association for $225. They're a not-for-profit organisation, and they'll walk you through all of this.
I prefer free advice from the gods.
Speaking of which...
I was feeding my cat. Look,
Often when you get your solar quote, they leave off expenses like linking your system to the grid. So make sure you ask.
What expenses are not covered by a quote?
Hey, should I get a battery installed in my house so I can be cool like South Australia?
Joyce says prices of batteries are still very high, and it might not be until 2021 that the economics of battery storage for solar power make any sense.
Well, you know what, guys? I think I'm gonna get solar power.
I told you never to open your front door!
Jesus!
No, he wasn't available for this story.